I didn't get to go to Jiu-Jitsu this morning, but I was thinking about all the rolling that I was missing. And there are some people at my gym who are considerably smaller than me. When I say considerably smaller, I mean like literally half my weight or even less, and probably, 6 inches shorter, right? And so I was thinking, what does it mean to be a good training partner as a super heavyweight, or in this case, ultra heavyweight, as a big guy? What does it mean to be a good training partner? And I'm going to give you a couple of ideas of how to do it. Number one, if you start off with all of your weight and all of your pressure at the beginning of a roll, you're an a-hole. You're an a-hole because you're not taking the other person's feelings into consideration. Now, I've heard people say, if you have a guy who's really flexible or really fast, then why can't he would use all of his weapons, why can't you use your weapon? That's a good point. But I don't know that someone who is really flexible goes from 0 to the full splits in an instant. I think they gradually use their flexibility in different ways and as the need or as the situation arises. I think that when it comes to being a big guy, if you have a lot of weight, you have heavy pressure, you have to use it as the need and as the situation arises. If you come on full 100% right off the jump, number one, you're a jerk. Number two, you're going to be really easy to beat because everyone's going to know what to expect. And if they can weather that initial storm, your ass is swept, rolled, and tapped before you know it. Number two, check on your training partners. You never know who you're rolling with. So I like to start at, let's say, 20, 30% of my pressure, my weight, and I will go. And if I start to put a little more pressure, I'll say, hey, you good? And they all know that means, are you dying under this Shamu killer whale pressure? Do you need me to ease up a little bit so we can have an effective, productive roll? Not everybody wants 100% of your weight, 100% of your pressure. Not everybody can handle 100% of your weight and 100% of your pressure. So if you're a good, well-rounded, nice guy training partner, maybe you start at 20, 30% and gradually increase that pressure and that weight. And occasionally check in with your partner and say, hey, you good? You good? Is that too much weight? Because you might want to back up. You might want to even go harder. You never know. Which brings me to number three. When to go hard. You can go hard if you talk it over with your partner before the roll starts and or if that person is, 2 belts higher than you. If I'm going with a black belt, you better believe I'm bringing everything I got. If I'm going with, as a white belt, a purple belt, a brown belt, I'm coming with both guns fully loaded, okay? But if I'm going with the guy that is a white belt, my same rank, or even a blue belt who's maybe smaller than me, I'll say, hey man, how much weight do you want? How much pressure do you want? It's always wise to negotiate the terms of the roll before the roll happens. Let me say that again. It is always wise to negotiate the terms of the roll before the roll happens. If the guy says, yeah, give me everything, give him everything. But don't forget to check and say, hey man, you still good? If you hear somebody's voice change, their breathing change, and you know what the hell I'm talking about, when somebody's down there and you hear, or they're talking, you hear that, you say, hey man, you good? It's always a good idea to check in on your homies. Don't break your training partners. I know you are naturally gifted. You're naturally heavy, naturally big, naturally strong. Don't rely on those gifts. Rely on the technique. Remember the last video. So, to be a good training partner, number one, negotiate the terms, come to an agreement before the roll happens. Check on your training partners and gradually increase your pressure. Do not go full Shamu splash right off the jump.